Time for another coffee with Kilroy, or what I like to call beverage in a book. My beverage, well, you guessed it. The book, well, I am continuing along with these paper battles and dioramas that I started covering with this play, The Arab Conquest Wars, 633 AD, from Soldiershop Publishing, and actually picked this one up from Amazon, the same place as I picked up the other one, and actually contacted them. And they didn't send me any of these, but they did send me some links to some PDFs that I need to print out. I'll probably print them out in regular paper, but the PDFs are probably the best way to go with these type of books because you're basically creating paper miniatures. So getting a PDF file, you can print it on or have printed on whatever paper or stock or whatever you want, and then you can construct these. So that might be the better way to go, but I like books, and there is some historical content in here that I like to keep in a bound edition. But the PDFs are probably a better way because to make the miniatures, you're gonna need to copy. You really can't pull pages out because there's stuff on both sides. So you're gonna really need to make copies. You're probably gonna be breaking the spine and cracking it and stuff like that. So the PDF route might be the best way. I have a lot of paper in my house though too. A large portion of my overall game collection is print and play type stuff. I used to really be big into that and still have a lot of that. And so I have a lot of files and folders and just boxes of paper of both historical stuff, but also games and the like. So, having a lot of these lying around in paper is probably not something I want to get into. Plus, once you make them, how do you store them? That's always going to be a question as well. But once I get, I'll probably do at least one run of the PDFs that they sent, and want to thank them for that. But I'll probably go over those in a coffee with Kilroy. It's paper, right? I can cover it in coffee with Kilroy and just show you what it looks like. It's just basically these books, but done in PDF. So you just print them out however you want. With that, let's get into this one. I will note right off the bat, baseball term. This one covers the general area of the Italian Wars, whereas this one, covered this period, but also had a couple of specific battles in that. I really liked having the battle setups because I'm always constantly trying to fill in the gaps on wars, conflicts, battles, engagements that are not covered widely in history or in the wargaming space. This one's not covered very much. This one's probably covered a little bit more. I have some GMT games on this, but really not covered widely compared to some of the other war games out there. This one I do not think has specific battles, but it does cover this period, the Italian Wars of Independence period. And these are full color. And they're going to be split between English and Italian. So if you're wanting to brush up on your Italian and are an English speaker or reader, this might be a good way to do that. Remember when I took my languages way back when and would always see these kind of split reads. Here's how to assemble. Again, this is basically a paper miniatures game. So there's some assembly required, and you're going to need to make copies, or if you got the PDFs, just print out those pages and then assemble them. And there's how you do that. Here's a little bit of a background on the Wars of Independence from 1848 to 1870. Here are the rules of the game, both in, of course, English and Italian. The whole book is going to be set up with that split view. But here are all the different rules that you have here. So, you basically have the miniature rules as well. These are paper miniatures, but, if you have regular miniatures or if you just want to reduce it to counters, you have rules in this set on how to play the game. Here's the charts for that. And as you can see, they're both in English and in Italian. And then you get into the miniatures themselves, or the paper miniatures. So this is where you're going to need to be making copies. And as you can see, there's stuff on both sides of this, either text, tables, or other more miniatures. So As I said, the PDF route might be the better way to go with this, but you know, you can get this book and make these copies right out of this right here. And it's really, I mean, if you want to look at that, the art's really nice there. So you can see that. So this is all for that time period. And there's going to be just several pages of these in here. So, and you can make as many copies as you want, right? So if you want to have more artillery or more mounted or more infantry or what have you, then you've got, you know, you're limited only by your ink, cartridges, and paper. Then you have some of the pieces for the artillery. Then we've got the army list and comments. So you're getting a little bit about the Austrian Imperial Army, the Sardinian Army. So you're getting a little bit of background here, which, you know, if you get any miniature books, they're going to have that. You know, there's usually in any miniatures game has like a base set. You need to get a set there, and then you'll have like books that come out that go into a little bit more detail. I have several of the Fields of Glory books. I might cover those for a miniature section. Might do those as a coffee with Kilroy and do a little page through those at some point. But you'll have like the base rules, and then you'll have some units discussed in that. And then the key is bringing out other books that talk about different periods or getting into a little bit more detail about those units and those conflicts. And that, so you have a little bit of that in this book that is really focusing on the units and the factions at war in the Italian Wars of Independence. Then we've got some more units here. So if you look at this, I mean, this looks kind of interesting. This is, if that looks somewhat reminiscent of the American Civil War, you got to realize this is the same time period. This is 48 to 70, so we're hitting right in the same general period of the American Civil War. Show some of these a little close up there. And there's just several pages of these here. Again, you're limited only by your ink and paper on these, on how much you want to make of any one of these. That's a cool one right there. The French. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Has anybody picked these up? I mean, again, I just found these. Sorry for the shakiness there. I'm still filming in a different location these days. My gaming room and table has been taken over by hypothetical World War III, naval World War III. If you watched my videos earlier this week, you probably will, or last week, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I'd love to know what you think of these. Have anybody tried this? If you're a miniatures person, do you just like skip the paper and want to go right to the actual minis, or is this interesting to anybody? Is this the paper miniature aspect, or having a different way to get into this, you know, this time period or theater of war? Is this of interest to anybody? Love to know anybody's thoughts or comments on that. And just, you know, love to know that if you stopped by, drop a comment and let me know you stopped by. I'd always love to hear from you. Then you get some terrain in here as well to go along with your units. So as I said, there's some terrain here. And then you've got talking about the scenery for the Italian Wars. And it does go into some battles here. It's talking a little bit about some of the battles here. So you do get a little bit of background on some battles, but it doesn't look like it really has a complete breakdown of it. Like in this book, they would have, you know, charts and diagrams kind of, so you could actually possibly start resetting up that battle from some of the information in here. This one is a little bit higher level. Then you get some army lists in here talking about what's the makeup of the different armies. And then these are some of the other books that are available. And as you can see, they're covering some areas that, I mean, 30 Years' War is gamed somewhat regularly, but again, not as much as, you know, World War II or Napoleonics or, you know, even probably ancients for that matter. So they are covering some areas and some topics that are not standard fare on most people's wargaming tables. Those are some of the books that are available, and then there you have it. I got a little bonus, guys, you can print out there. So that's Soldiershop Publishing, and there's the back of the book there. Italian Independence Wars, also known as the Risorgimento, I butchered that mightily, was the political and military movement that consolidated different states of the Italian peninsula into a single state of the Kingdom of Italy in the 19th century. The process began with the revolutions of 1848, inspired by previous rebellions in the 20s and 30s that contested the outcome of the Congress of Vienna, followed by 4 wars of 1848, 1859, 1860, and 1866, and was completed when Rome became the capital of the Kingdom of Italy, 20th of September, 1870. So there you have it. This is how you can play the Italian Wars of Independence. Again, love to know your thoughts on any of these. Is this something that interests you, or is something that just interested in learning a little bit about the history and picking these up, or giving you some idea of maybe how to paint your minis? There's some, these books can be used kind of as a resource for that as well, I would imagine. Anyway, that's what I have for you today on Coffee with Kilroy. Thanks for stopping by. I greatly appreciate that. And drop a comment. Let me know you stopped by. And you can, I don't care about the comment. If the comment is, hey, these are a waste of time, don't want to mess with these. I don't want to mess with minis in general, or if I do minis, I'm going to do the real minis and not do paper, or I just prefer to go the PDF route, or whatever you want to talk about. I'll listen. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, and have a good one. Thanks for watching.